Hey, what's up, y'all? It's been a while since I've done a rant, and I just want to talk to you guys about XDefiant. Now, this is Ubisoft's new free-to-play hero shooter, and the gimmick here is the fact that it's mashing up a bunch of their different franchises and IPs. You have Watch Dogs, you have Splinter Cell, you have Division, you have Ghost Recon, and you have Far Cry, all mashed up into one game. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into everything that I dislike about this game, and like I guess towards the end, I'll start talking about things that I actually do like, which it's a small list. So let's just get into the dislikes first. I still don't understand why every single faction has first person view. Now, if you guys are familiar with Ubisoft, you know that Splinter Cell had a first person versus third person mode called Spies versus Mercs. And that was really one of the most popular modes. It actually started in 2005 on the PlayStation 2 with Chaos Theory, and they brung it back for Blacklist on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It was a very popular game mode. And honestly, when I heard the concept of this game, I was thinking, okay, cool, it's going to be first person versus third person. No, that's not the case. Every single character has a first person view. Now, that's only one of the things I dislike about this game. Another thing I dislike is the fact that the heroes are completely new characters. Every faction has completely new characters. You don't get a chance to play as Sam Fisher. You don't get a chance to play as Marcus from Watch Dogs. No, these are completely new people made up specifically for this game. And it raises the question, what was the point of using the IPs if you're not going to use the characters and the protagonists in a hero shooter? Because it's a hero shooter, and you're giving us new heroes that we don't care about, that we don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't know. And what makes this all worse is the fact that the game that you have here, the base game that you have here, is very bare bones and generic. As far as I see it, I think you have two game modes. You have no choice over which game modes you want to play. Either the game chooses for you, whether you play ranked or unranked. The game is going to choose for you. You don't get a chance to choose. And it's basically you have like zones and like domination. It's really like honestly, it's like a payload from Overwatch or Team Fortress. You're basically just moving a payload, or you just like take zones. That's it. Those are the only two game modes you have, and every single faction has the exact same type of weapons. This is something else that annoyed me, because if you play Ubisoft games, you know that some of them have their own unique weapons that are exclusive to those games. Like Watch Dogs, for instance, they have guns that you only see in the Watch Dogs universe. Guess what? They're not in this game. You don't, none of that. Everybody has the same guns, and that's that. Now, as far as the abilities go, every hero has one of two abilities they can choose from. You have your ability, then you have a grenade. In my honest opinion, I feel like the abilities fall into one of three categories. You have overpowered, you have okay, and then you have useless. And that's pretty much the ebb and flow of the balance with this game. Because in my opinion, I feel like the echelon is not balanced at all. I feel like being able to look through walls and turn invisible is insanely overpowered, especially too when you have people in the all working together in one faction or predominantly one faction. It gets insanely overpowered when you have the bulk of the team can see wherever you're at on the map, and they can turn invisible at will. It just seems like they didn't really think about balancing at all. On top of all this, the game just generally feels very cheap and underdeveloped. I don't understand. This is honestly the worst feeling free to play game I've played. It just feels like they didn't really finish anything. The netcode feels like it's not done. There's bullet lag. There's lag switching. I've just ran into numerous problems. And on top of all this, too, if we're just talking about just from a strict gameplay standpoint, it doesn't really feel too responsive to play. I feel like the movement feels floaty. The aiming is kind of all over the place. The hit detection is kind of all over the place. This just feels like a really cheap rush project, and I don't understand why Ubisoft didn't invest more time and money. Especially too, it's like you see all of these companies talking about how profitable games as a service can be, and then they put this is what they put out, expecting people to spend money on. Like who's gonna spend money on this game? Because I'm a fan. I was, the target audience. I'm a big fan of Ghost Recon. I'm a big fan of Splinter Cell. I'm a fan of Division. I played all of these games. I'm not that big of a fan of Far Cry, but like I said, I'm familiar with Far Cry. I played all of these games, and I'm the target audience here, and I would not spend a dime on this game. Honestly, it's like I don't already off the rip. I'm not the type of person that spends money on free to play games. But it's like they don't even have me as a player. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep playing this game, honestly, because it feels that bad. So it's like I don't understand what the end goal was here. Because if you look at games, you look at Splinter Cell, you look at Ghost Recon. The fact that they're in third person is kind of big, especially Splinter Cell. You look at the movement that you're able to pull off. You look at the things that you're able to do. Being in third person is insanely important to a game like Splinter Cell. And then you have this game, which is using, Echelon as the faction, and it's in first person. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up with the few things I actually liked about this game. I like the concept. The idea is really cool. The execution was horrible. I also like the fact that they used the multiplayer maps from all these different IPs and franchises. That was also really cool. And it's weird because I feel like the engine actually shines when you look at the maps. They don't look amazing, but they clearly look better to me than most of the character models and the animations. And that was I know I'm supposed to be talking about the positives, but that was another issue for me. The animations for this game also looked horrible. It was a lot of T-posing. It was just a lot of weird, funky animations and artifacts and issues when it came to the overall visuals, and just the overall presentation of this game was just super spotty. As far as the gameplay goes, this is nostalgically bad for me. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. I actually did enjoy playing it, but it's like it's not because it was a good experience. It just reminded me of the old PlayStation 2 Ubisoft days. Like back when you had to put the internet adapter on the back of the PlayStation 2, and you basically booted up some really low quality first person shooting with the Ubisoft game. And that's kind of what this feels like. It's like, I don't know. I did have a little bit of fun with it, but like I said, it wasn't because the game was good. It was more so just I wasn't really taking things seriously, and I was just playing it to have something to play. And honestly, like I said, I feel like there are better free to play first person shooters than this. I feel like you even if you care about the source material, because at the end of the day, this is XDefiant. It's not Ghost Recon, it's not Splinter Cell, but at the end of the day, also, you still have to judge it based on what's presented here. And what's presented here is an insanely generic first-person shooter. Because if you want to strip away the licenses, this is nothing. This is something you could find this on a web browser somewhere. There's a billion different people out here putting out free-to-play first-person shooters at this level of quality. The only thing that's actually remarkable and even worth talking about with this game is the licenses it's using. But they don't really mean anything. Well, anyway, man, this is the end of my rant. I don't want to, drag this on too long. Thank y'all for watching, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Peace.
Forces secured another checkpoint.